What's up, guys? Welcome to today's video. Hopefully the wind's not too bad. It's picked up a little bit. It's kind of coming and going. But anyway, this is a cool spot right here on this edge of this big plateau, BLM, kind of down here in the south end of the San Luis Valley. But I looked along some other big plateaus that were BLM. They were too rocky, too rough, and came over and checked this spot I had marked a long time back and just never had been here. And dang, really nice. Pretty smooth landing. Had just a little bit of wind helping. It's at about 9,500 feet, I think, up here. And really just a pretty spot. So give me a second here and I'll show you guys around. I'm going to grab some lunch real quick. I am starving. And my lunch was in the far back, so I couldn't get to it in the plane. But yeah, the edge of the plateau is just over there. And there's some more areas up here. It looks like a person could play a little bit. So cool area for sure. I'm gonna go get in the shade, eat some lunch, and then I'll give you guys the tour of the area here. Here's the view off this sucker. It's pretty nice. There's a little looks like there's a little town down here. I'm not even sure what it is offhand, but real pretty valley. Pan around here and show you. So this is right on the edge where I came over when I landed. So yeah, nice spot for sure. Really like it. So I decided to name this spot 2 Mile High. It is not actually quite 2 miles high, but it's 10,000 something. And this is a tricky spot. It reminds me of Mile High is why I named it that, but it is shorter and, you know, almost double the altitude. And it's not actually as steep, which in the case of getting stopped is not a benefit. Now, steep hills have their challenges. The wind can detach and do weird things, kind of like a wing at high angle of attack. So when it is windy, you have to be careful. There's a lot of descending air going down a hill. But at the same time, it can also help lower your ground speed. So this particular day, I did have some wind, and that's why I decided to go ahead and try it. Anyway, we got it done, and I'll show you that landing. All right, welcome to 2 Mile High. That's what I'm going to call it anyway. And because it's at about 10,000, so it's not quite 2 miles high, but close enough. It reminds me of Mile High a little bit. It's got an uphill, it's short, and it's got a better go around, and it's not as steep. Where you got to touch down, you got to come in, and there's some rocks and stuff. So by the time you touch down, don't have a lot of room. I ended up going down the backside, and I didn't want to do that, but because there's a decent go around, I got a lot of power. I knew I could power up and leave the ground real quick if I needed to. So I rode it out, and of course your braking is diminished on the backside of a hill. Shoot, it's steeper on the backside than it is on this side, unfortunately. Anyway, cool spot. I tried to land here once before, and I just didn't have the plane dialed in, and I wasn't as dialed in. That was, I don't know, maybe almost a year and a half ago, or well over a year ago, and I just wasn't ready for it. So came back, had a little help from the wind. Unfortunately, even with the help from the wind, it was still ground speed was still about 10 or 12 above indicated. So that's just the altitude and the heat. It's pretty warm up here. So there's a hell of a view from this spot. When you get back, you can't really see it right now, but there's a canyon down there that's beautiful and a river at the bottom. Unbelievable spot. Maybe I'll hike over the edge and look down, show you guys what I'm talking about, but it's a cool spot for sure. Well, I hiked down here, and I'm quite a ways away, and never really could find the edge to look out into that canyon where that river is, but I'll keep looking around. If I see it, I'll show you guys. It's pretty back in here. Good areas of camp, but it's BLM, but it's unlandable with camp gear. It's too close as it was with 2/3 fuel and 50 pounds of tools, survival gear, camera gear, all that kind of stuff. So I wasn't light, but I definitely wouldn't want to come in here any heavier. That was close as it was. Yeah, I should have walked up that hill over here. Maybe you could see these canyons a little better. They're really pretty. And there's a whole bunch of that kind of cliff stuff there, and then it drops down into a river. Well, you gotta love it. It was breezy until I got back here and was getting ready to take off, and now it's basically dead calm, or maybe a slight tailwind, even though I had a good headwind up here on the hill. So well, there's a little breeze coming back. Maybe I'll get lucky and it'll come back here, but it's been pretty calm for a little bit, unfortunately. So you can always count on that working against you, as it turns out. All right, guys, that'll do it. Please subscribe. I need your guys' help to build up this channel, please. And stay tuned in the next video. In one spot, I land by a bear. And I also find probably the most beautiful spot I've seen yet. All right, you guys know the deal. Take care, and we'll see you on the next one.